Roronoa Zoro has been fan favorite for quite some time now. Matter of fact, in a recent One Piece popularity poll in Japan, Zoro was shown to be at the top 3 most likable characters among people between the ages of 9 to over 50 years old. But why is it? What about this sparky green grass hair guy that makes him so lovable among the community? Well, at this video I will try to answer this question to the best of my abilities. Hello everyone, I'm Plotpoint and I make content involves around regular films and series as well as anime and manga. If you like this kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter, I share my super important thoughts on there. With that said, let's start with the video. Roronoa Zoro is a quite simple character. He doesn't have a super complex way of thinking, he's not a big thinker in general, he's not stupid, but he can be a little bit in certain situations. He can also be surprisingly deep in terms of how he sees things. If you will ask Zoro's fans why they like him so much, they will most likely say something like, oh, because he's a badass, or because he uses swords, which is completely fine if those are the reasons you like him so much. Me for example, I can't pretend like these reasons has anything to do with the fact that he's one of my top favorite characters in the whole series, if not the most favorite. We love characters who make us want to be like them if we could. For example, I like Usopp as well, and that's because he represents most of us. You can clown him all you want, but I know that in certain situations a lot of people will react the same way he does. But even though I like Usopp, I wouldn't want to be like him, and that's because we are making distinguish between who we are and who we want to be. Zoro is simple, and maybe because of that it's easy to love him. Zoro was the first person to join Luffy. He was introduced in chapter 3 in the manga and the first episode of the anime. He was introduced as the pirate hunter Zoro, and he was known for his unique 3-sword style technique. He is currently 21 years old and almost 6 feet tall. When he was young, he trained at Yashin Dojo in Shimotsuki village under his former teacher Koshihiro, and there he gained himself his first rival Kuhina. However, all of this is relevant because of a single change Oda made when he wrote Zoro's character. I'm sure that a lot of you already know this, but Zoro originally should have been on Buggy's pirate crew. But then Oda said, nah, this guy is too cool, I gotta have him on the main crew. Maybe that's not what he said exactly, but nonetheless, he did the right thing. It would have been hard to imagine the Straw Hat's pirate without Zoro, even though he doesn't occupy any crucial spot on the ship. Sanji is the cook, Nami is doing the navigations, Chopper is the doctor, and you know the rest. Zoro is just a warrior, and is not good at anything else, really. However, Zoro is the one person who will get the job done. He thinks very simplistically most of the time, which makes him do what needs to be done at the very moment. Zoro might not have anything to offer with the ship assignments, but that's not how you determine his value. Zoro is a person you will hate to see on your rival's team. His willpower, his strength, and the fact that he loves challenges makes him a real pain to deal with and a great asset to have on your side. He understands that with challenge comes growth. He's the type of character who only goes with those type of challenges. I will even dare to say that Zoro is the one who understands it the most in the entire Straw Hat crew. The Straw Hats will usually face challenges to achieve something greater that can only be achieved by facing them. Even though Luffy proved his willpower, his persistence, and sense of adventure when he declined Rayleigh's offer to tell him where the One Piece at. And that's because he saw the bigger picture. He knows what achieving your goals with no shortcuts means for your individual development, which is respectable. Luffy knows that in order for him to become the king of the pirates, he needs to be the king of the pirates. Take a second for this one. If you want to become the king of the pirates, not just by name but also by having the mental and physical strength and dealing with the difficulties along the way, which can't be achieved by skipping the things that eventually make you the one who deserves the title and other people don't. Luffy is trusting the process. However, I think that Zoro's mindset in this regard is at least as solid as Luffy's. Zoro embraces any challenge that involves him and can't hurt the rest of the crew. Because for him to be the best swordsman, he gotta become the best swordsman by facing these challenges. Zoro is not just accepting these challenges, but he embraces them and looking for them. The chase after getting better and stronger is Zoro's best asset in my humble opinion. Now, I spent a considerable amount of time on this point, but Zoro has more to his character in my eyes. Zoro also has a proud side to him, which makes him more interesting to me. His pride is not based on being a highborn or coming from a family of a great swordsman. He doesn't have a brainless pride, like Vegeta Saiyan's pride. His pride is way more rational. He won't let his pride prevent him from doing the right thing at the right moment. However, Zoro's pride won't let anyone he respects to be disrespected without any proper consequences. His pride is not mean, but it's fair fair. I would say that you gotta respect yourself if you want Zoro to respect you. If you won't respect yourself, the people around you won't be obligated to respect you or follow you. Having disagreements is fine, but it should never reach the point when someone who opposes you in front of the whole crew is allowed to come back just because cutting ties with someone you once had a good relationship with, it's hard. Imagine if Luffy would accept Usopp with no apology. I believe it will lead to a serious discomfort, not just between Luffy and Usopp, but also among the rest of the crew, because things are not solved yet. Actions must come with consequences, and for Zoro disrespect won't be tolerated because of convenience. Zoro asks from the ones he respects to do what needs to be done, even if it's hard, like he will do and already did more than once. Going to Kurigana Island to beg Mihawk to train you shows how a man who thinks not only about himself, but also about the people he loves and appreciates. It shows that Zoro's pride has an on and off switch, and his pride won't prevent him from doing the right thing, and the right thing to do comes first, which indeed was the right thing to do. Besides him being able to help the crew to move forward after the time skip, it also made him a better swordsman, which always been his main goal. He learned Haki, his skill set got better, his navigation is still awful. You can't change that much in 2 years, come on. He can tell you the differences between left and right, even if his life depends on it. You can point to him the direction he needs to go to, and he will go to the other side, which to me makes him a better character. No, I'm joking. Do something with yourself, man, come on. Take some classes, something. I'm not going to talk about his swords too much because I plan on talking about Zoro the person and not about his powers. This is why I call this video The Legend Behind the Swords. I might do a whole video about that. Let me know if his swords and attacks are things you will want me to cover in a separate video. But I am going to talk a little bit about his powers because I like them and I do want to fanboy a little bit. So Zoro has a respectable arsenal of attacks, like the Shishi Sonson, the Sentoryu, the Nitoryu, and the Itoryu. His attacks look good for the most part and can deal a lot of damage to a single or multiple opponents. His attacks are also effective, not like other characters who has these grandiose attacks which eventually doing nothing, and he also doesn't spam one attack all the time. And I like it a lot about his fighting style. He's also super strong, mainly the upper body, but he's also super fast, so it's not like he doesn't have legs, it's not like he skipped legs. And now to the swords. Zoro still has 2 of the swords he kept from the beginning of the series, the Meito Wado Ichimonji, which is one of the 21 Owazamono, the great swords, and he got these swords after Kuina's death. And this one is the most close to heart because of the emotional attachment and how he got it. He also has the cursed blade Sendai Kitetsu, which has the lowest rank in the great swords, and he got it in Lockdown. Now this part contains some spoilers for the anime onlys, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you can end the video basically. Zoro just recently got another great sword, and a very famous one, the sword Enma, which once was belonged to Kozuki Oden and his daughter Hiyori after that. Hiyori gave the blade to Zoro in exchange for Sushri, which belonged to the legendary samurai of the Wano country, Ryuma. Because of this, the sword is considered to be Wano's national treasure. And another thing about the sword Enma, this sword is the only sword who was able to injure Kaido. So this sword has a big hype surrounding her. Overall, I like how the swords look. Also, I can't wait to see Zoro mastering Enma because it's going to be ridiculously strong after this. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to talk about Zoro's swords and powers in this video too much. Let me know if you want a separate video about this subject. Thank you for making it this far, and I'm on a come up, so liking this video helps. Also subscribe to the channel, click the bell for more future content, and also share this video if you can, it also helps a lot. And you are also welcome to be part of the plot on Twitter at plotpoint3, so go follow me there. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Plotpoint and I'm out.